The Rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS explores the relationships that are affecting the global economy right now. This book explores the relationships of the African diaspora's influence on the African continent and why this is important in stabilizing relationships with an understanding of how BRICS impacts the future, good or bad. You can order your copy of The Rise of Africa today on Amazon.com. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. Neo-diplomacy is the new currency. The reason that I can say that is you have a couple of different factors occurring right now as we speak on the world stage. The dollar is being disrupted. Nations are no longer wanting to engage with the United States. But the third factor that affects each and every one of us is that there is a diaspora from the African continent that's willing and able to engage our brothers and sisters on the continent.
Well, Shabbat Shalom, Salama, Siyemi, Shalom. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you're of the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this Shabbat. I stated on Q2A's channel yesterday, I said, if anything big happens, I said, I will definitely jump on in on Saturday. I wanted to get in yesterday with Yakoba, but I had to get some things together with issues that were starting to resolve itself yesterday. So without further ado, I know shout out to Brother Yakoba yesterday. He talked about this. And he gave a great scriptural breakdown. So if you have not seen, as he was going into many references where our enemies are fighting each other in Ezekiel and Isaiah and Haggai and Chronicles and Samuel. The list was going on and on. That is why, look, in this season, I'm telling you, look, everybody has a spiritual structure. I told you, I align with my Moray. He doesn't like me to call him my Moray. He doesn't, but he is. He is. But that's the whole. The kingdom principle is you always are. Even if you say, well, I don't want you to do this or I want to do that. Look, everybody has to be accountable to someone to no matter what, the Most High will put someone in your presence, because even as I started to do this, I reached on out. Because again, the Most High always delivers. He gives us checks and balances. Because I know me. I know me. I'm a flesh person, and let me tell you, the funny thing is, I was a little late. I just got off the phone with my son to get some things taken care of, because we were going through some things earlier this week, and what I was doing this week was I was actively just praising the Most High. Because why? Because it's obedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice. Obeying Him and praising, obeying and praising, and I with things that I can do, I can only focus on what I could do, and I had to understand that in the midst of this, I just had to say, Father, I thank you because you are showing me your glory when I am weak, and being not just, financially weak. We are in an economically weakened state. We are. But do you understand that because we are weak, guess what? He is strong. Yes, Yahusha loves me. Yes, Yahusha loves me because the Bible tells me so. And really, the word does tell us that. And I had to play that in my mind, and that's the adaptation instead of Jesus, really Yahusha. And I had to realize, I said, thank you, Father. I am a child. I am your child. And I'm going to do as a child does with his father. I said, I'm just going to trust you and relax and be there in your presence and just let this thing work on out. And there were things that I needed to do, and it was working. Things were moving. Things were doing what needed to be done, and I said, thank you, Father, because my focus was on other things. And as soon as I began to just focus on the one that really matters, not myself, it's Him. I don't matter in this. Guess what? He matters. It's Yahuwah that matters. He gives us the tools, but at the end of the day, it's all for His glory. And I had to say, thank you, Father, because a lot of things began to really fall into place. And then I have to laugh because I don't really even get a chance to look at current events and things of that nature. Excuse me. Because I've had to do a lot of things in the background in the time that I have off. So I take meetings and do Zooms and things of that nature. And I have to do it around the schedule that I don't have kids. That's, asking Mr. Copeland, Mr. Copeland, Mr. Copeland. And it's not a bad thing because I'm interacting with the kids. And I knew the Most High was literally saying, He's showing me spiritually through them, how I act, how I look to Him. Now, I will joke, I'll have a good time, but I do the work when the Most High needs me to do the work. But it is the lack that we always get. It's how it goes. We all wear a flesh suit. We all go through a season where we're presented with something, and then the Most High will literally close the door. And it's the closing of the door, not to say that He won't open the door, but it's the closing of the door so that when you are positioned in how he wants you to be able to think about things, then those blessings that he has for you will be opened up for you to receive and do the work that he needs you to do. Because when you had saw what you're getting ready to receive, you had a different thought process of how you were going to build with it. You can say all this and say all that, but the Most High knew your heart. So then what he had to do in this time was reveal, okay, you may say this, but here's your heart. Here's your heart. Here's your heart. Well, because why? Because the heart is what? It's deceitful above all others. Who could trust it? And I said, oh, thank you, Father. But it was also revealing in me that there was just things that I had to let go of. And I had to say, you want to know what? Who cares in this crumbling, dying system? Making arrangements. It's like, hey, you need to come get this. They don't even want their stuff back. That's crazy. That's how bad and how trash this economy is. Hey, look, this car engine, it blew up. It's not going anywhere. Go ahead, take it, sell it, and let me know how much I owe you off of the remainder. And who knows? Just, who knows? Since steel and everything else is going to be tariffed beyond all comprehension, maybe just on parts, I actually may get more money. I may get a check in my pocket. Hallelujah! Who knows? There's a lot of things that's going on, but I wanted to give you that preface here because as Jacoba had presented this to me, this is a bigger situation that's of what is happening. Last year, nobody could touch Zelensky. Remember that. Nobody could touch him. Ukraine was winning. They needed to send more weapons and more weapons. And so if I can give you all that caveat, right? Send more weapons, send more weapons. They're winning, right? Nothing could stop them except us and not and seeing things how they really were. I said that on that channel many a times. These folks are not stopping the Russians. These folks are losing. Russia's just treating this as a literally just an exercise. And that exercise was showing the West that they were not capable. And I'm telling you, I said this. Remember, I said, remember this. Does anybody remember? Oreshniks. Oreshniks. Putin pulled up. Putin pulled up like Loke Dog. He said, do we have a problem? He said, you don't want any of this? He said, I got my name on this. He said, I put this on my mom. Oh, man. I've had quite an experience this weekend or this week with the kids. Oh, but I want you to see when things in terms of world diplomacy, when it changed. And this, to me, was when it all went horribly wrong. A few minutes later.
I'm talking about the kind of diplomacy that's going to end the destruction of your country.
Yes, but if you are
Mr.
not
President,
strong,
Mr. President, with respect, I think it's disrespectful for you to come to the Oval Office and try to litigate this in front of the American media. Right now, you guys are going around and forcing conscripts to the front lines because you have manpower problems. You should be thanking the president for trying to bring an end to this conflict.
Have you ever been to Ukraine that you say what problems we have?
I have been to
come once.
I've actually watched and seen the stories, and I know what happens is you bring them on a propaganda tour, Mr. President. Do you disagree that you've had problems bringing people into your military?
We have problems.
And do you think that it's respectful to come to the Oval Office of the United States of America and attack the administration that is trying to prevent the destruction of your country?
A lot of questions. Let's start from the beginning.
Sure.
First of all, during the war, everybody has problems, even you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
You don't know that.
God.
Shabbat Shalom, Brother Garth. Oh, Rashnick.
Yo, this is crazy.
That made them sing a different tune, right? I'm saying they're singing a different tune. Stop.
Yo,
Stop. What did the kids say? Stop the cat. You know, Trump put it there. Stop the cat.
Well, I'm catching up, and I just saw the part because someone posted in Teo where I don't know who that dude is. He's like, "Why aren't you wearing a suit?" He's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm in war. Maybe later when, after war, I'll wear something not as expensive, but maybe I'll wear a suit. And I'm just like, what is going on here? This is pure. The Most High is confounding them like crazy. It's kind of, I'm not gonna say I'm laughing, but it's pretty entertaining to watch. I'm not gonna, say
it's entertaining without a doubt, because remember, everybody was saying, what are you talking about? Russia is losing in Ukraine. That came straight from Trump's mouth. That came straight from the horse's mouth. From the horse's mouth. And I don't care how, now you got the little memes and everything going on with the AI Trump Zelensky things happening. You're gonna see all that here in the Twitterverse. But this right here, this was the problem to me. I know Jacoba had touched in on this, but this to me was the problem. Understand what you are seeing in terms of not just propaganda, but in terms of policy. I saw that from Brother Doug Rice. Shout out to Brother Doug.
Honestly, Zelensky is literally, in all seriousness, the Most High is literally, through Zelensky, literally just told America its future. He said, soon you will feel it.
Come on now.
You will
but Garth, what did I say? What did I say at the beginning of February?
That it will be more clear that we are going to war probably.
Bingo.
By our new year.
Bingo.
New year.
Bingo. Because at January we said this, all that policy change and everything else, that was to get the bee's nest stirring, right? Oh, we're gonna do stuff with all the government. Man, they didn't affect anything in the military wise. They didn't care about all that. But now you literally have a threat to the United States coming from Zelensky. And now Zelensky and NATO are doing what? They're cozying up. And now NATO is going to be saying, remember, NATO had the emergency meeting. What was that, last week? NATO had the emergency meeting?
I think it was last week. I mean, I'm just because again, like you, I'm trying to catch up with current events. I'm still listening to, our boy, our Maple Leaf Israelite in Canada over there, and listening to
I'm sure he's freaking out. I didn't even get a chance to see him.
Paul, and I was listening to Paul. Like, folks, is Chris going down? Christian? Folks, is this Christian behavior? I'm starting to die and laugh.
I know. I figured Paul was gonna like blow his lid. The hair was just gonna be flying everywhere as he's looking at that.
But I know, I mean, Paul was being genuine. He's like, folks, I don't like bullies, folks. And America's being the bully, and now everyone is seeing it, and now this gives every right, or gives the optic as to why it's gonna be betrayed.
Because why? Hey, you aren't going to be impeached. Look, did you see how quickly that Ukraine was like, oh, we got to impeach Zelensky now? Because why? Because he wasn't able to pull the bag. Zelensky thought that he was going to go there all cat, as the kids say. All cat.
He thought it was, as the kids say, they thought he was going to stand on business.
he said, I was going to stand on mine. He came through in the black.
All black.
All black.
Crazy. He came in all black.
Like, you gonna give me the bag? and they're in suits, and they're like, we're not having any of that.
Trump's like, no bag giving. No more bags. Honestly, you should give us a bag for all this pain and turmoil you've caused the American people by giving, their funds, and you should be giving us your wealth. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? That's what he was saying.
And Marco Rubio was literally just right there, sitting there looking all crazy, because they were trying to ink the deal, and they never signed the deal. So what do you think that's going to do? See, if you didn't know, the thoughts and the provocativeness is this: America supported a dictator. The dictator came through acting like he was running stuff, and now America needs to go back over to Ukraine and make sure that Ukraine can pay back America's money. Because why? Because now you have a scapegoat to put it on. When did all the trouble start for America's economy? Are you all seeing this now?
They're going to say, obviously, oh, when we started giving Ukraine money. But really, honestly,
yes,
I mean, all the people who were asleep when Trump, because I literally remembered in 2020 in the summertime, I'm like what was it, the relief bill or whatever, and it was literally billions of dollars. They brought together billions of dollars, this legislation, giving people stimulus checks. I'm like, yeah, there are definitely. That's when I knew that was going to
go to war with somebody. Yes, they're going to
that, and also just how much money they dumped and how much printing went into that bill alone, like 600 billion something. I don't know what the exact number, but I know it was billions of dollars that Trump made into legislation for the stimulus relief package or whatever. So they all were literally asleep when he was putting in legislation of millions of dollars right before the election or whatever. Billions of dollars, excuse me. And then it's funny how like they are playing into all the people's ignorance and anger with Trump, scrutinizing Zelensky and scrutinizing. He's basically just supposed to be all the Americans who are complaining about giving money to Ukraine anyway, and they're just, causing more discord and upheaval and anger. I also see that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, when I tell you this, people don't understand. A lot of these things are planned out years in advance. And I would argue to say that this was planned out decades in advance, from 2011 and 12
of
to
course.
right now.
Look at Trump with the sign right there. I mean, he's literally showing you, that signal. And then I think someone caught the signal of Trump's fingers when he was shouting at Zelensky or whatever, trying to, bully him, or,
Well, here we go, because I want to still show the rest of this video, because if folks haven't seen this yesterday on Teo, this Wow, here we
You
go.
will feel it in the future.
You
God
don't,
bless.
you don't know that.
God bless.
You don't
God
know that.
bless. You will
Don't
not
you
have
gotta
the war.
don't
Let me put
Even
this in.
you, but you have nice ocean and don't feel now, but you will feel it in the future. God bless.
you don't know that.
God bless.
You don't know
God
that.
bless. You will
Don't
not
you
have the
gotta
war.
don't tell us what we're gonna feel. We're trying to solve a problem. Don't tell us what we're gonna feel.
I'm not telling you.
Because
I'm
you're in no
answering on this
position to
question.
dictate that.
That's
Remember
exactly what
this.
he's
I'm not
You're in
dictating.
no position to dictate what we're gonna feel.
You
We're
will-
gonna feel very
You will
good.
feel influence.
We're gonna feel very good and
telling
very
you, You
strong.
will feel influence.
You're right now not in a very good position. You've allowed
From the
yourself
very-
to be in a
from
very
the very
bad position.
Do you see the veiled threat? Oh my goodness. What were we just in? Daniel chapter 8, these dark policies, these dark sentences. See, understand how the world is set up. We think that it's a man. No, it's a principality. So my man in black, here comes the man in black. Ukrainian defender.
Oh.
I need the bag, Donald. The bag, Donald. I need my billions right now.
You will feel it pretty soon. You will feel it. Don't tell us how we're gonna feel. This dude literally is just the embodiment of American pride, and he's the perfect person to see the fall go down because literally he embodies their spirit, their attitudes, and their arrogance and their pride, and
Mm-hmm.
just everything. Like he literally is the pride of Babylon, and he's literally the perfect person. The Most High is so smart, and literally his plan will always come to fruition, and how he sets it up is crazy. He's literally the ultimate chess player. Trump is the perfect president to go down with this country because he literally bolsters their own ignorance, and they're not going to
Mm-hmm.
see it coming.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. They're gonna look one way. Hey, we're getting money from Ukraine. They're gonna hit the next. And I think everybody has like been strategically signaling that they're going to set up one another. I believe this. This was the assessment that I believe. I believe that EU and China are trying to play um the angle of, well, we're with China or we're with Russia, you know, but we're not really. And the EU's like, well, we're with the United States, but we're not really. Okay, cool. And then Russia and China are trying to gum through with the angle of Russia saying, well, we're really not with China. And then Donald Trump saying, well, the United States isn't really with the EU. We're not really with the European Union. You know
You
what I'm
know,
saying? Do you see how this is the I would say the double stitch bait and switch.
and you know who else is probably going to be the one in the lead for all that? Macron is going to be the one, trying to do create. He'll surrender. Macron will surrender on behalf of all of Europe.
He did that. He did that just a few months ago when he had visited Beijing. This is all in the works. The EU goes down while literally BRICS engineers Europe fighting the United States.
Mm.
Do you all see this coming? Do you all see this diplomatic double entendre happening? Oh my goodness. I wanted to, I was like, okay, Father. I said, Father, you had me here fighting off some whatever gunk that happened, and the Most High got that out of me. Hallelujah. You get exposed to all the germs and bacteria, kids coughing, and there's only so much my little Lysol spray, my little Lysol travel spray can do. So, oh my goodness.
Yeah, this is a huge turning point, honestly, because even what's his face said it's like even Trump like pretending like he wants to negotiate is gonna even anger Putin and all of them, and it's going to anger all of the other, the EU, because they know he's not coming in good faith. That's going
It,
to make them even more angry.
I believe this. I believe this. The EU is going to see this and they're going to position themselves and say, look, we got duped into this war to make us, right, poor, which they are, which their economy is collapsing. Trust me, their economy is collapsing, same as us economy. It's all collapsing. It's all collapsed. You want to know who the real winners are in this whole situation? The real winners?
Us.
Yep. The rise of Africa, the continent, the diaspora, and BRICS.
Oh my gosh, and at the same time, so much stuff is happening in Africa. Like, they are literally
If
kicking
you
out.
all haven't copped that book, if you all haven't gotten that book, if I'm telling you, now you see it. Because why? Because understand the African Union already knew its power. It just needed to know how it could have a power projection. And Russia and China are providing that power projection while they're playing both sides like a fiddle. They're instigating both sides, both sides. EU with Zelensky, right? Russia and the US doesn't want Zelensky and Ukraine, right? To be a part of EU or and really the NATO. All of these things that's happening. See, all of this, we're just looking at it. We didn't see what was actually taking place in front of our own eyes until you see the golden lattice chairs. And my grandmother used to have chairs like that, except they were green.
What else I see also is, because they, again, we spoke about this. I'm pretty sure they predicted this war in West Africa, and what Traore and the Sahel and all these other nations, by disposing of ECOWAS, Europe is going to be
What?
force its hand as well. I believe Europe is going to start a war in West Africa as well.
No, Garth. They're going to try to start a war. They're going to try to start a war. They can't start a war in West Africa. Why are you going to start? You can't start a war. You can't put fire to your own barn. You can't. Why? Thank you, Team Truth. Why would you want to set fire to your own barn? No. This is a power struggle that's going to be fought on continental Europe. And what Zelensky had just said, it's coming to the United States.
And then Elon said will have nowhere to go. So,
and you'll have nowhere to go. There's nowhere to run to, baby. There's nowhere to hide. I've been wanting to say that for a minute.
ready or not, here I come. You can't hide. And my Lord,
I'm gonna find you to draft you slowly. Black and 1/8 few steps away. Oh man. And now this all happened off of the heels of 3 years. 3.5 years. Oh boy.
And then I'm just saying, at the same time, China's, rubbing in its hands like Birdman, ready to invade Taiwan while all this is happening.
But you know how lost that them billions be. You know how lost that them billions be. He said, "Let me get the G6, the G5. I gotta give me the Airbus."
Oh gosh.
Zelensky was like, "Hot boys." Oh my goodness! What type of boy want me asking for money? Goodness gracious. That is just, yeah, number one, if you're a world leader, I'm sorry. I never felt the tactical gear. You know, I, it's a little overblown to me. It's a little overblown.
Hey man, it's more comfortable than traveling in a suit, but
Yeah, and you can tell he wants to create that persona. Like he's the Ukrainian Chuck Norris. You know, you know what I'm saying? That's like, come on, man. Come on, man. And then literally Trump blew him out of the water with everything. Like, look, you want to see the meeting that flipped the US and world relations on its head. This was the meeting.
absolutely.
This was a meeting.
Because also I was thinking, NATO and Europe, didn't forget who blew up that pipeline that was
Come
vital
on.
to vital to all their energy and gas, and at the same time saying now Ukraine has to give them their wealth. Europe, the NATO and Europe is not gonna take that too kindly, because they're gonna be like, oh, you want to take Ukraine's wealth while also destroying the pipeline that gave us all heat and energy and gas.
So Garth, you brought up the one of the biggest statements that I was getting ready to go. I was getting ready to go in on. That was the pipeline. That was the pipeline. Look, they did the dirty work of the United States, and now they're about to have their country split up. That's kind of diabolical, isn't it?
It's very diabolical. It's like you can't. It's like America's still trying to hold on to its homogeny and thinks it could be diplomatic, also while being the bully.
So my question is that when Zelensky's meeting with these leaders and everything else, I wonder if he spilled the beans. He just wrote that thing down on a napkin and folded it up in a handshake with the world leaders.
And then
USA made me do it. And then
they'll remember about the ICJ court hearing. That also is relevant because that other nation over there, while they're helping them, they're also helping costs doing a genocide or whatever.
oh yeah, they pulled the funding. Yep, they pulled the funding for that. So the U.S. is no longer involved in any type of ICC and ICJ. The Hague got defunded by the U.S. Oh, look, the U.S. this week. Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
we have become officially a pariah state, a
this is
pariah nation,
is
and people
no,
didn't
I was
even
about to
see it.
say it was a diplomatic what do they call that? Fire, nah, I don't even know, fire mess or whatever. I don't know. It's all just imploding now, literally diplomatically. But they're so prideful. They don't care. They think that everyone is just gonna allow them to be number one again, and just bully it. Yeah, everyone is literally is gonna be like, enough is enough with this country. All of the pain and pride and all of the destruction it's caused on the basis of being some type of military goodwill police. All of that has just been destroyed. They're basically being exposed for who they really are. And they had Europe on its side, but now Europe is like, no, you used us as a bargaining chip and used us as a vessel for this war. And who's you losing more people now? It's Europe that's lost a lot of people through this conflict. And we haven't literally directly had US soldiers on the ground
Mm-hmm.
officially per se, but Europe has taken more losses in the last couple of years than the US, especially with the
Who's
pipeline.
the question is? You have boots on the ground. Who then is U.S. going to be fighting? Because to me, if you have boots on the ground, I think I think honestly, the U.S. probably already drew up the corridor. I think Russia's side is going to be east of the Dnipro, river. It's their major river that splits eastern and western Ukraine, and the United States is going to have um, is going to have the western side. And when they were saying to Trump, "Do you have any comments about Odessa?" Trump said, "Don't worry about Odessa." He said that at the start of this meeting. If you didn't catch that, I know Yakoba had that on Mateo Ministries yesterday, and he said, "Don't worry about Odessa." I said, because honestly, I believe it's going to be this. I believe that they're going to have a beach landing, and then you're going to have the U.S. come through. Because you want to know why? Because I guarantee you, they'll probably have collateral damage with U.S. forces either leaving or being kicked out of Germany. Remember, they were already talking about NATO countries in smaller areas on the border. I believe that Trump will consolidate. He'll bring everybody home. What has this been? It just hasn't been a bankruptcy. It's been an actual classic reorg and realignment. So why do you think the beast, the whore, is going to be burned by fire? Hey, we gave you all this money. I don't care what Trump, or excuse me, what Russia takes. I don't care what Putin does. We're going on in there. We're going to get our money back. We're setting up shop. We're getting our money back. And now you're going to have, now you are going to have Europe siding, EU basically siding with Zelensky. That's why, no, remember, passport controls and everything else, the passports changed in this year, 2025, where you have to now register for a visa to go to Europe. That has literally hasn't happened in since passports were created. What say you, Brother Garth? Because this is...
Well, I also see that Trump is, making the requirements or waive the visa for Africans, African countries. So that's just a more, diplomatic, contempt that he's stoking onto us. And I believe this, again, the only people who have anywhere to go anywhere is us, and the only people whose passport is probably gonna still be good is us, because
Mm-hmm.
we were always what's the word, like a security deposit, or like a gem or a resource that the
We
US is
were a
always had.
shield. We were a shield. Yes.
Yes, shield is the better word, because
Mm-hmm.
everyone that's not the US will have to basically, for lack of a better term, kiss up to us, and because they also want a political and moral standing for attacking the US, not just because of Ukraine.
Mm. Yep. And Averill said it right. Yep. A surety. Yeah, we were a surety bond, right? Bond servant, bond man, bond servant, a surety, a bond, an indemniture. We were a financial security asset. That's what happens, and that's what is happening. And now the security asset, we were not just a security asset, but we were also a spiritual one. Because what have we been doing? We've been saying, no, we reject the system. How are we rejecting the system? We've been telling the overlords in the system, no, we do not want to do anything else. We're
And
going to do the DEI boycott. Yeah, sure. Would the DEI focus on everybody else? All 6 other folks before us? Yes, it would. But guess what? It's our voices that matter, and it's our voices that count.
And I was also thinking, well, I know for a fact that Russia and China, will be very, very careful about, and very strategic about attacking this country with us in it, because then they know that they'll anger the Africans
Yes,
that they're doing business
did not
with.
say that. Did not say that, Garth. The
Yeah,
whole
you said
plan was to
that.
get us out of here, and how they get us on out of here, they're going to sow discourse between the U.S. and the European nations to where they now have to focus on themselves, and they lost the focus on Africa. And now here we are. Spiritually, we're aligning to ourselves and are staying to ourselves, which again has never happened before like this.
Yeah, no, it's
Yep.
never happened before
Not
this.
like this. And now you have to where it's like we just said, you know what, we're done. We know we're gonna get kicked out. We know we're gonna get forced out. We might as well just learn how to row in this boat together, because that's what's gonna end up happening.
Yeah, I mean, Ibrahim Traore said he wants the diaspora back, and he's literally the figurehead for that. And like I said, he's,
Isn't that crazy, Garth, that
right?
we met the figurehead for the person that says, I want my family back.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Almost a year ago to this, almost a year ago, we literally saw him speak, and now this is all happening.
In less than a year.
In less than a year, yeah.
In less than a year, you cannot make this up. Family, you cannot make this up. It's totally incredible.
It really is. It's surreal.
It's totally incredible. I don't know how to tell you. I don't know how to explain it. Because again, we know the big picture, but again, all right, I know our folks want to be in the realm of prophecy and prophecy and prophecy. Yeah, that's good. But right now, look, we're now here seeing prophecy unfold. So now we just need commentary of how this prophecy is. So then we know how to position ourselves when all these other things start flying out of the sky. We're not just talking about jets.
And you know what, too? Like, it's literally crazy how all the programming from Leave the World Behind is literally coming to fruition as we speak, with Tesla and
Mm-hmm.
AI, and literally just, because yeah, we just were like, yeah, that's a pretty crazy scene with, our boy, the Hebrew actor who's really good, Marshala Ali, I'm pretty sure that's his name. Because I saw that scene, I'm like, oh, that's crazy, and that could definitely happen when everything goes dark. But you see now with all the plane crashes and all that messaging, and then now I see that this new show, which I may watch on Netflix, was Zero Day with Robert De Niro, talking
I
about
need to watch that too. Yeah, I
everything
think
just
I'm
going
gonna do
dark,
that.
and
Yeah,
everything, and a
but
cyber attack. And I
but
haven't
what?
shared.
But what if they do that? Then that's the whole thing. It's not in the realm of of impossible. I would say that they probably did that anyway. I would look at it like this. Glad you brought that on up. Right? They were trying to say now that the egg shortage is now, back, and it's now being stabilized, or it's now being stabilized, right? Eggs are back, they're now being stabilized, right? So that's what they were trying to say. And now they were trying to say that they had to call the chickens and all that other stuff. My thing is, yeah, I'm totally putting on the hat on this one. If you took the conspiracy hat, if you took the let's just have this. If you're taking all of those chickens off the market, right? If you're saying that they're quote unquote being called, right? To me, I didn't know that they were actually like being killed right there on the spot. I thought that they were like, you know, the government or the locals or whatever um, sources on out there were quarantining the chickens, and the chickens are quote unquote being called, supposedly. Think about this. Would that not be out of the realm of possibility that those chickens were just used for emergency rations, being prepared in emergency rations?
Mm.
It's still chicken. It's still meat. Yeah, they're egg laying hens, but they still have meat on them. And you never know what government facilities they have for this. Who knows? Maybe they took these chickens off the table for the elites to have in their bunkers. You ever thought about that? You see what I'm saying, Brother Garth?
Yeah, it's like you're saying, or you said this before, this is like we're in a wartime economy, but they're not talking about it. They're
Mm-hmm.
doing every measure to completely reform everything. And someone asks, is the African leader a Canaanite or an Israelite? I'm saying
No.
he's probably an Israelite, because if you do the research, you look up the Mosi Kingdom, you look up the Ghana Empire, you look up
Mm-hmm.
all those all those empires within the Sahel, our people were there, and a lot of them turned Muslim to escape the sword after
Yep.
after the Inquisition. So yeah, I believe that. And also, Jacobo talked about Bill Dad the Daniter, believe
Mm-hmm.
Bill and the Bill.
Eldad the Danite. Yep.
Yes, and all the people who were in Sudan that traveled across the Sahel. And I believe the real Sudan, I believe, obviously, not trying to get off topic, but Sudan is a very it's a very significant place in our history, because I believe that's where the real ancient Babylon was. And that would make sense if our people were fleeing. We fled also across the Sahel. So, you know, you can look that up and do the history.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely believe that is. Um, you saw definitely a lot of Israelite traditions that were going on, and they didn't even want those traditions to be video camera or to
Oh
have
yeah, that's the
photography.
exactly. That's exactly, yeah. They didn't want us to take pictures and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, going to that land, and just that now that it's being restored, you could obviously literally all the Bible, most of the stuff took place in on the continent, because you see the Sahel turning green, and
Sahara,
every
Sahara's
Sahara
turning green. Yeah.
Sahara turning green. And I don't know what scriptures right that come to mind, where I'm pretty sure in Isaiah, Most High said that he would turn the wastelands into green, and waters would flow, and everything would turn lush. And that's what's happening. And they're also scared about that. I remember they were making up propaganda that, oh, the Sahara turning green is a bad thing. I remember I seen articles or them put a spin on it. So obviously it's all coming to fruition.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So now here we go. This is something that I don't know. I had to come on in here and take a look because yes, we could be spending on this for a couple of hours, but um, let me go because I know folks are have been looking at this picture. It's actually a video, so let me finish up this video we've been commenting on.
And he happens to be right about
From
it.
the very beginning of the war.
You're not
Mr.
in a
Brown,
good position. You don't have the cards right now. With us, you start
I'm
having
not playing
cards. But
cards.
right now, you
I'm
don't.
very
Yeah, you're playing
serious,
cards.
Mr. President.
You're
I'm
playing
very
cards.
serious.
You're gambling with the
president
lives of
anymore.
millions of people.
You think
You're gambling with World War III.
What do you
you're
speaking about?
gambling with
What are you
World
speaking
War
about?
III. And
You-
what you're doing is very disrespectful to the country, this country.
I'm
It's
with
back
all
to
respect to
you.
your
Far
country.
more than a lot of people said.
I'm wearing
Do you see the setup that Trump was saying?
Yeah, he's trying he's trying to literally keep all the people who are, obviously all the people who are inept and don't understand what's going on. He's trying to give them a standing. Oh, I'm trying to stop World War III, or this. He's like trying to basically he's basically projecting the future with at the same time trying to prevent it, like he's somehow, again, that like they still have the moral standpoint, and that they're the ones who are, the ones that are preventing World War III and all this other nonsense.
Yes, Garth, that's exactly what he's doing. He is projecting that we're going to be going into World War III. That's what he's doing. You're going to start World War III. Family, I'm sorry. That came out of Trump's mouth, and we're seeing this happen. This is March 1st, at the start of the Hebrew New Year, in about 2 weeks and change, about 3. They had to get this thing started. And yes, and they got it started. Unreal.
And then I remember, it was, I believe, Sister Fatea that was saying that there's all a bunch of crazy moons coming up this month. A lot of different signs in the sky as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was it? Was it not April that huge eclipse was last year
Yes, it
around this
was.
time? So literally all of those warnings that the Most High gave about the changing of the season and the changing of the guards, and now we're in the thick of it. You know,
We're in the midst of this. We are in the thick of this. See, World War III has already happened, exactly ready for a new lifestyle. Yeah, World War III has already happened. Now they're just, as Zoomer Doomer say, yeah, now the cat's out the bag. Yeah, it's not a matter of if. It is now when this starts.
exactly.
Right? They lost too much money. They're gonna say, look, we lost too much money, and we lost this money to a dictator. And here we go. We need to get our money back. We need to get
Right,
our
and
money back.
we need our mammon back.
Hmm. They didn't want to sign the deal because the deal would have started to give us our money back.
And then it says when they say peace, sudden destruction, and Trump, like I said, he was coming in bad faith. Oh, I'm trying to create peace and all this other stuff, but the way he's going about it is basically going to cause war.
And I think we all see this war on the horizon. Now they're going to push for this war. Will they do this war this year? I'm going to say certain elements of the war they're going to do this year. Not all of it, because they're going to try to do a slow mission creep, right? We're going to do this here. We're going to do that here. Yeah, look, we got to protect our assets in Ukraine. Watch how this thing goes.
And Brother Cass, I'm trying to figure out, because I remember we were talking about Civil War. I want to know how Civil War is gonna be included in this equation, because it is, that movie also showed literally the denigration of Babylon, and when it's going to turn on, when they're going to turn on each other within here. I don't know.
Well, now let's take a look at that. Thank you, Brother Garth. You brought this on up. I appreciate it. if y'all can, please support Brother Garth, because Brother Garth is being an awesome co-host. If you want to put your chat on in the link there, Brother Garth, so I could highlight that. Because let me tell you, Brother Garth and I, we have these conversations behind the scenes multiple times. And, you know,
You mean my
as
Cash App or my channel or?
I just see your Cash App, if you want to share that.
All right, I'll put it in the chat. But yeah, I mean, this is like because I literally saw that movie like a month ago, and then I'm like, yeah, this is totally, this country is ripe for all of this.
Now think about this. When they said, "What type of American are you?" Right? What type of, are you going to be? What American are you? What type of America are you supporting? Because I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. We're now starting to see when Zelensky's saying, "Hey, it won't be too long." Until what? Until things start to happen on this, on this soil. I don't know if he's referring to the other party that just lost the presidential election.
Yeah, because just as weird as no, it's not weird at all because there's still people who want to support Ukraine and literally still hate Trump at the same time. And I could see that stoking dissension within this country. Because I mean, yes, Trump is embodying the spirit of America as a whole, but there's not going to be everyone in this country, you know, uh, being aligned with his ideology. Some may just still think that Ukraine was mistreated, and those people saw here today or yesterday how Trump treated Ukraine, and they're going to be angry, and they're going to talk about, oh, this is an embarrassment and all this other
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, we have a illegitimate president that is now turning, right, the world on its head, correct? And now they need to try to get this thing taken care of, because if not, the legitimacy of the United States as a legitimate, righteous superpower is going to be at stake.
As if it ever was, but yeah, right. It's like the people who are still, I mean, there's just ignorant. Again, they're all confounded. It's just ignorance on both sides. The people that are still thinking that this fight, those war in Ukraine, is like a righteous, like, humanitarian cause, and then there's the people who don't care and just only care about their money and just want their money back and want America to be on top. It's the Hegelian dialectic. It's like that's just stoking more, literally, basically, yeah, they're confounded on both sides. It doesn't matter if you voted for Trump or not. Like that, you are gonna have to pick a side,
Mm-hmm.
except for us again.
Yeah, well, that's what they're, and remember, that's what they've been asking us to do. Choose sides. Come on out. Help support us in this. Help us do that. Help us work in this thing. And the reality is that we're like, no, we know where this is going. Because why? Who did DEI affect the most? White women. What is this nation's sacred cow? The white woman. So now black folks are like, hey, we're done with that. Yeah, look, oh my goodness. Because let me show you this. Like I had said, I just want to share this real quick, and then we'll jump back on topic. But like I had said, here we go. And I want to put this link. I gotta put this link on out here
Honestly,
because it's unreal. It's unreal. But we all saw this one coming. Here's this. Now NBC News. Some people online are planning an economic blackout Friday. What does that mean? Shoppers say they're targeting major companies.
oh,
Yeah. So that was February 27th, right? Take part in an economic blackout started roughly by John Schwartz. So no. More than likely it's a white person that they're trying to attribute because here you go. We have it from Stephen King and then John Leguizamo and Bette Midler. No, that was the DEI boycott.
I can't stand John Leguizamo, man.
That was the DEI boycott. And now they're trying to look, I told you, it was because we didn't participate and they knew that we weren't participating. Guess what they're going to do? They always try to take credit.
Always try to usurp our ingenuity and our ideas, and just won't it won't stop until we're out of here, and then we're gone and separated from them like we've always should have been. But yes, literally, of course, they're gonna say, oh, they're gonna say some are doing this and that, and then when they feel the effect of said economic blackout, then they'll turn around and say, they're not going to say some people, they're going to say black people did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, it was very successful. Oops. It was successful. And now we're all getting messed up. Yep, that was black folks that did that. That was black folks. They'll take the credit for a little bit, and then when they get the negative backlash, oh yeah, no, yeah, we stole that from them.
And it's funny, like some of our people are like, we're not gonna support because this is not our fight. I mean, are you serious? I'm like, if we really are about our Father's business, we don't have to align with the black ideology. We could just say, hey, if it's gonna hurt Babylon, let's just do it. That's how I thought of it. I'm like, I didn't care about the identity politics. I know who I am, and I know that if we all if I don't spend my dollar here just coincidentally, it's gonna hurt Babylon. So that's how I saw it.
Well, and the whole thing is that Babylon, in my opinion, was already hurt. It's just that now they're gonna have somebody to target. I mean, for real, that's how I looked at it. Okay, cool. If that's how you want to play the game, hey, we're good. We're okay. Because now you're going to have more than likely these sleeper cells. Did you see what happened to Zelensky? This confirms everything that we had stated. There's I don't know the article. If somebody wants to put it on up there, I think Sean had it. That's supposedly an unvetted Russian news reporter was in there. was in the press briefing room.
And also what I saw too, the guy that sounds like he always has peanut butter at the top of the roof of his mouth. I don't know.
The Miller person.
I don't know if he's is he the Security of National Defense? The guy who's spearheading all of the deportations.
No. I think he's Homeland Security.
Okay. Yeah, he was saying, oh, if Mexico doesn't meet the demands of America, then that's it's a precept, not a precept. That's just a declaration of war. He says if Mexico doesn't meet the demands of America with this trade agreement or whatnot. I saw that too.
That's crazy. Look, would you ever thought that in the time that they're literally declaring war on each other? That's why Jacoba brought it all out.
And I think Brother Sean brought that up too as well.
Mm-hmm. And so I think it's funny. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I woke up this morning and looked at this video. I'm like, yo, what is going on? Again, that reporter's like, why don't you have a suit on? I'm like, are you serious? That's all you could point out. And this is literally, you literally are on the precipice of war, and Zelensky. And listen, I don't really, agree with Zelensky or support him, but what they did to him, and basically what they're just their rhetoric and how they were talking to him, that was just disrespectful. And kind of felt bad for him, and they're making him look like a fool. I mean, I'm not saying he isn't, but just the way they're going about it, and the way they're just basically making fun of him and in front of camera, is just, again, the pride and the arrogance. It's just going to come back to bite them. And even him saying, you're going to feel it soon, it's basically, they're going to get what they deserve for being the bully of the world.
Oh, how the hammer of the whole world is cut asunder. Wow.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know how to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. These are some very, very interesting times, some very strange times.
Man, it's like every day something crazy is happening now. I mean, more than ever.
Yeah. Well, you know, it has to.
Yeah.
We knew that it has to. We knew that this was going to be here. We've been saying this for quite a while, right? We've been explaining this for quite a while, and now we're looking at how this thing is going, and now people are trying to figure this thing on out. And because they're trying to figure this on out, well, what can you do? you know,
I mean,
I,
also, just because I'm also catching up to this, Trump said he's going to rebuild Gaza. That's also another thing for the rest of the world to be angry about as well, not just Ukraine. I mean, literally, this dude is literally painting a target on America with all of his policy and rhetoric, and just the way he is being a voice piece for all the people who are, again, thinking that America is number one and Babylon is number one and all this other nonsense. He's literally the Nebuchadnezzar of our time.
the Nebuchadnezzar, and they got played. They're getting played. And that's the whole thing. Look, I don't know what to tell them. You can't tell people anything when they're getting played. Hey, you're gonna have to fall on that sword. Nobody's gonna fall on that sword other than you. We would have healed Babylon, but she did what? She refused to be healed. Sorry. I I I I guess it's kind of the Reese's commercial, right? Sorry, not sorry. So, you know, what can you really say? You can't really say anything to them because why? Honestly, they don't even want to hear you to begin with. And now the folks that want to hear, oh, well, we're now in this position because of Trump, and we learned our lesson. Help us, black people. We learned our lesson. Help us now. We now have buyer's remorse. And we're just sitting there we're gonna have to have a. We have to talk to Brother Walt to reopen the double goods popcorn sale because everybody needs to get
Right?
their popcorn on this one.
Right? I mean, literally, this is like, I mean, it is crazy. It literally, this is, jeez, this is a thriller, man. This is like a blockbuster thriller, you know. It's like when judgment is creeping upon you, but you can't see it.
Hmm.
This summer in theaters. The movie voice guy.
Mm.
A betrayal of epic proportions.
Yep, that's what it is. That's exactly what this is. And now, people are just taking the bait. I I can't say it's. You don't really ever want to say it's funny, but
No, I mean,
you know, and again, seeing this happening because it's happening. It's going to happen. We knew how these things were going to happen. So, you know, man, what can you say? What can you do? You shouldn't have done that. Let me get in here, brother Mikael. Shalom, brother Mikael. How has your ventures on the road been? Because you are able to see things in real time. It's as you see traffic for real.
shalom, brother Mikael. And I've been on the roads too, man. They are wound up. They are wound up for real.
Okay, so can y'all hear me pretty good? I'm breaking up, Cares.
We hear you now.
I hear you.
Shalom. Can y'all hear me? Okay, brother Cares. I was calling about the wartime economy. When you mentioned that,
Yes, yes.
okay. First of the year, I get a phone call from some brokers
Come
want me
on
to
now.
haul water,
Come on now. Look,
tons of water, tons
listen,
and tons of
folks.
water being
Go ahead.
yeah, tons and tons of water is being hauled to warehouses. If you've been paying attention to your local stores like Kroger's, your Publix, have you been seeing a low shortage of water in those stores? It's
I
because they
have with
can't
like
even get their
Aquafina.
hands on it because the government is buying so much water. Yeah, yeah, your government is buying all this water. Then another thing, Carries, get another phone call. They want me to haul paper rolls. Now these paper rolls are about 7 to 8 feet tall, and they're big rolls of paper, and it weighs about 8,000 pounds a piece. So we can only haul up to about 7 to 8, depending on the size. And it weighs about 45,000 pounds. Well, these big rolls of paper are going to Panama City, Florida, to the port. When I get to the port, there's a high military presence on the port. So I got to check in with a TWIC card. I got to go through all this. They got to look up under my truck. We unload the paper. I go on the other side of the port and pick up copper, raw copper.
Mm,
This copper goes to Fulton, Mississippi, to the brass place. It's so much going on right now. I can't even keep up with it. And for its goods and services, like your everyday shelf items, that's slow. Your government is housing and warehousing tons and tons of stuff. And then that chicken and this beef. You remember when they
mm,
played the game last year about them 10,000 cows that fell over dead out there in
mm-hmm,
Oklahoma? You remember that? They
mm-hmm.
said they just fell
I
over
remember
from heat
that.
stroke. No,
That was in
no,
Kansas.
your
Yep.
government got that.
Hmm.
You, your government got that beef. Because if
Oh,
you go
come
back and
on.
listen to Canadian, you go back and listen to Canadian Prepper, he interviewed the guy that's got the government contract for
Oh, you're
MREs.
breaking it now. There you go.
Yeah, all that
MREs.
chicken you were
Mm.
just talking about, they
Come
got it.
on.
Don't let nothing go to waste.
And all those
So
fires. I
so
remember. I'm
that's what
sorry.
I've been seeing out here for is traveling. Oh, go ahead. I'm done. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was about to say, brother Mike. I also like. I remember. What was either not Purdue Tyson, all those or it was a huge Tyson factory that was on fire. That they magically went on fire, and all those like factories. I remember maybe it was summer of 2023 where all those factories, meat factories, just randomly caught fire. Had huge fires.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, I remember those. It was catching fire everywhere. So it's a lot of sneaky stuff going on behind the scenes, but I just think the Most High He opened our eyes to see the plate. We see the plate. The water, y'all better get as much water as you can get your hands on. Something going on, cause they is moving out here.
Mm, mm, mm.
When you get a agency to call you and ask you how many trailers you got, because when I pick that water up, carries, I'm only going 180 miles over to a warehouse. I dropped my trailer. I got to leave it there 3 days, but I got multiple trailers, and then I leave and go back, and they'll call me when my trailer ready. Then I get another call to go load some more water. So the trailer that got over there, I just get my other trailer, go get water, drop it, get my empty, and bring it back and drop it at the water yard. I was like, man, where's all this water they shipping it to? So I got to ask the questions. And
Mm-hmm.
they warehousing water all over this country just like that. It's Nestle it's the Nestle plant, but they bottle Aquafina and all these other different type of water brands you see. It's the same water, just a different brand on it, family.
Mm-hmm.
they they package it right there, but you think you're getting a different water? It's the same water. You just paying for a name. But yeah, brother Carey, that's what I've been seeing, man. It's crazy out here. And they building warehouses. And I noticed in Florida, just like they're doing in North Mississippi, they building
Mm-hmm.
all these new warehouses. Well, that's what they doing.
Mm. Come on. Look, I'm telling you.
But yeah, and you was talking about you were talking about Civil War. And I've been watching these TikTok reels of these people, palm colored people crying on TikTok about wages and DEI, and they just whining and crying and pouting and yeah, something brewing. Yeah, something gonna happen. I think it's gonna spark off here. Zelensky didn't say that what he said. It's gonna be on your side soon, in your country soon. He just wasn't saying that to blow hot air. That man was saying something. But I'm gonna get off of here, Carries, because I'm in the country and my signal real spotty. But I just had to tell you that.
I hear you. I appreciate it.
Thanks, brother, for warning us and letting us know that, again, all these shortages are contrived and they're planning it and they're just hoarding stuff.
Mm. Look, I was saying something about it, and look at that. Look at that. Straight from literally the horse's mouth. That's that's the Most High right there. Before I get to you, Pastor Minister Rick, um, Herbert Harris, thank you for the gift. Hallelujah. And Deborah Mangrum, thank you for the gift, the super sticker. Hallelujah. Yeah, I had to come on out here to do this special because, and I had this line on open because honestly, this has been really interesting. Very interesting. And now we're seeing these things developing over the course of time. So, Minister Rick, how are you?
I'm
Shalom.
doing well. I'm Shalom. I'm doing well, thank you. Yeah, these are interesting times, and my reaction to them is mostly good because I think that what's happening we have this opportunity to become a nation and learn to love. One of the channels that's well, name and lose me right now. He was talking old school. That's white folks doing white folks business, and really to worry about what they're doing. I thought that the blackout was great, that we need to do more of those things about becoming a nation, learning to love on our people. I mean, it's a mathematical contest. These people gonna hate us, and it ain't about us. They just told us all this color of your skin and things like that. And there was a theologian. He's dead now, Chuck Missler. He called it, but he called it for the Ish people. When Jesus appeared after the resurrection and told, I preached this at a funeral once, told the disciples gathered, he said, I'm not coming back until you say, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Most High. And at that point, he had come back from the grave. He had the keys to death, hell, and the grave. It was game, set, match. There was nothing there. The devil had no alternative. But when Jesus said that, I got a shot. All I got to do is exterminate all of them. And that's what we've been on. If there's no Hebrew to call on the Most High, he ain't coming back. So what that says to the Most High, all I got to do is kill all of them. And that's why that it's the policemen, they really don't. I don't know why. They just the policeman get a gun on a Hebrew and devil kill him, pull the trigger. So it's spiritual. It's all the lies they've been told. It's spiritual. If the devil have an influence on them, if he can twitch that figure, they're going to kill us. That's the point. That's the Asatan's only path to victory is completely exterminating the Hebrews. And but the Bible says you can't do it. We're all over the globe. So knowing this, expecting any of their systems, expecting any of their government, is you're literally expecting empathy from a sociopath. You just don't matter. But so the question is not about them. Well, do you matter to you? That's what I'm saying. We got to love on our people. See, can a nation be born today? Yeah, can a nation be born within a nation? Because there's a nation Israel because there was a man Israel. See, we got the nation state based on land came through, and now first was the tribal nation, then the nation state based on the location and landmass, and we've been moving up. Now they want to have the global super state and get the nation. So you got some people like Trump still trying to cling to nationalism, but he still wants to dominate the whole globe. And other people just want to make it one world community. But in the midst of while they're fighting on the globe, so you say, we're supposed to be building our nation. So again, we got to think of more things. We have to teach the children more stuff like you're doing. I think really, Karis, I just commend you. I've learned so much working with young people and seeing them and seeing families. The worst thing they did to us, it's always been from the day they put us on it, they separated families. They tore you from families. They sold you out of families. They did all manner of things to mess up families. Why? Because individuals are not sustainable. And when we get on our selfishness, you're not going to be 70 and you're done. So you're not sustainable. The only sustainable element of society is the family. So what we have to do is do construction on our families, stop doing it. These Europeans let us, our men and our women and our children, teach our children, and follow the Torah. Build our families on that, and we'll be fine. That's what it is. So don't get distracted by what they're doing. They weren't worried about us when the Most High was judging us. They took advantage of us, but they weren't worried about, what's happening with the what? No, they just, their God ain't with them. Let's pile on. So
well, I'm gonna say this. Thank you, Lily Steph, for the gift. Hallelujah. I'm gonna say this. No, you don't need to be distracted, but you do need to be mindful. You do need to have an understanding, because why? Because if you don't know what you're doing, then you're not going to be prepared for what they have planned. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High always gives us, the opportunities to plan, the opportunities to prepare, and just like this, the opportunities to come together so then we can be able to figure out what's going to happen next. The Most High allows us to figure things out. This is going to be a different exodus. This is going to be a different type of a move that the Most High is going to utilize. Because why? Because a lot of our people, let's just face it, a lot of our people are lost. A lot of our people don't really know what's happening with this. They may have just seen this as, okay, Trump kind of went crazy, and it is what it is. And you know um and that's how these things work,
Well, Karis, you
because
know what's
yeah.
interesting, Karis? What's interesting is this. When they were
Hmm.
talking about those ish people, and we were in Eurocentric Christianity, he said the Jewish people, that's the clock. That's how we're the clock. Our state, it revolves about where we are. Yeah, we be mindful of them, but you're a military man. Let them worry about us. See, they're worried about us. They're looking at us, what we do. See, we strategize and do it. Yeah, it's gonna. We watch. We're mindful of what they're doing, but in military, you let your enemy worry about what you're doing. Keep him off base, and they're
Hmm.
see. And part of the curse is going off. They're gonna come at you one way and flee seven ways.
Hmm.
God has put the fear of us back in them. So all that stuff that was on us is on them. But you're right. Yeah, we're mindful. Yeah, we're watching what they're doing. But hey, we are the clock, and the bottom line, the Most High is more at stake than we are. His
Hmm.
word has to actually be true. Moses used to say when he told Moses, "I'll get rid of these people and make of you a nation." And Moses will always plead for us, say, if you do that, what are the Gentiles going to say? That you couldn't take us out of the land, that you couldn't do it, the Most High, the Most High, it's his reputation. He said he's going to do this. This is going to be on. We didn't have nothing to say. Again, yeah, we be mindful, but let's put it this way. Let's be mindful, but not fearful.
Yeah, nobody's saying to live in fear,
Yeah,
but I do want to make sure that we stay on the topic here, because we're looking at what this is building up. See, again, in this channel, most of our people are awake. However, in our communities, most of our people are not awakened.
yeah.
But what they can see is they can see what's happening when, and I'm going to bring this here. This is from Financial Post, right? Europe's nightmare is here. They have to fight with Putin without the U.S. The Oval Office blow up between Zelensky and Trump laid bare for many Europeans that something critically has broken in their relationship with Washington. This is from Bloomberg News from Alberto Nardelli. This is published as of today, March 1st. And he's saying European leaders are confronting their worst case scenario. Maybe they really are going to be dealing with the bellicose Russia alone. When the U.S. lined up alongside Russia and North Korea earlier this week to oppose a UN motion condemning Vladimir Putin's invasion of Ukraine, some European officials knew that the transatlantic relationship was in deep trouble. So now we can start to see how the rest of the world is reacting. See, understand, we we know what's happening, right? But here in the United States, folks are thinking, well, that's just Trump being Trump. And they're not realizing that Trump literally just torched Europe, and he set Europe ablaze, because now you have a war, but you just don't have a war. You now have political instability, and that political instability is going to be facing the diplomatic challenges, right? So when people are trying to say, I want to go to Europe to vacation, most of them, that's what they say. Some of our people say that too.
Yeah, I still hear
You
that
know,
nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm like,
they, well, why can't I go to Europe? And how come they don't want me here? And how come the State Department has issued this, and this? What happened? They're not understanding that what happened within the last 24 hours has systematically changed the way that the U.S. is being and has been viewed in the rest of the world. And honestly, we have the ability to kind of move and float throughout, but we're still going to get a high level of scrutinization because we have a lot of our people that are still, you know, in love with this Babylon train.
You
as
know
they're
what?
not even realizing that the Babylon train like literally derailed in front of their faces. It should have been a standard. Hey, we're getting the bag. But the
You
problem
know what's
was,
interesting, Karen? I'm
yeah,
sorry,
go
I
ahead.
didn't mean to. What's interesting is I think back. I think our people generally know that we are the people. They don't know how to process that. They have to know our churches. They don't. The churches do not teach prophecy. So there's a message we can go on, but there's also a fact that the fact that we've been separated from the society in Babylon so much, and our history is out before the world. I'm gonna instant that happened when the Iranian embassy was captured. When Ayatollah Khomeini came on, and he captured the U.S. embassy in Iran, and we went through that crisis. And Jimmy Carter tried to rescue him. Did you know that he released all the black people working at the embassy, save one? He said, "We know this is not your battle. We know you're not our problem. You're not with them. You're not like them." So he released all of them, except one. There was only one black man kept hostage, and he was Uncle Ruckus working the shredding machine as they were coming in. So they said, "We're going," and when he got back, they didn't even recognize him. But all the other black people, because they know our history. They know we're not them. So they're subject to come in if we delineate. And no, we're the Hebrews. God has the thing, but it's good that we're separate. So we have to teach our people. What does that mean that you're the people? Well, you have to start to act like your people. You have to start to eat like. You have to start to look at Torah. You have to do this and those that were receiving the faith, they always said you must receive him as a little child. So that class, what you do in that classroom, cares is so key. There's a generation that we're not even talking to, that you engage and they will listen to you. They want to know an answer because they
Oh, they
know the
do.
world they're going to. This
Yes, they
whack.
do.
See, they're not so weird to Babylon. They know this is whack. Somebody show me something. So we need to go back to be what our faith was before they called it Christianity at Antioch. What did they call our faith? The way.
Yeah, this is the way.
Is the way.
Exactly.
So people are looking for the way. So if you come with the way, so them your children coming, they're a sponge. They don't want you to leave that school. And it's a famine for the word. And we have to tell them. The churches haven't done it. So I mean, we need to do more of what you're doing. I just put in my retirement papers yesterday. I'm gonna be retired after April 30th. I'm gonna hit the streets. I'm gonna be talking to young people. I'm gonna be back. I did that for you. I'm gonna be out there talking directly to them and Bailey and let them know, because in the first Exodus, a whole generation died in the wilderness. Say you were gonna be. It was like Josh and Caleb. So some of these people that ain't ready ain't never gonna be ready. But and also, when this thing comes, God is also merciful. The Most High, He gonna let a lot of these old saints go home. They can't get it. Before He would be just, hey, well, no, you just not with it. You believe in Yeshua and stuff like that, but you ain't seen this Babylon thing. But we're not gonna let Babylon kill you. You just going home. You just going home, and He's going to get His remnant out of here. But it's so key. These young people listen. A lot of people. I talk to some people my age. They just don't get it. So it's dust off the feet. No, those that should know better. A lot of them not going to be around. But if you grab these young people, I tell you, they have the energy. They are the army, and they will go. They will do this thing because they know they have no stake in Babylon. They know Babylon ain't did nothing for them. They ain't loving Babylon, and nobody left. They're partly angry because what did y'all leave me? So I don't want to go on, but that's key, Karis. We got to engage these young people and just do an end around, let them get it, because somebody, like you say, the drunk uncles or the crazy ones in the family or the people that's like this have started. They know something. We just got the color fill in the blanks.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true. And let me tell you, the young people get an understanding. They know what World War III is looking like. They know how this thing is looking. They hear the frustrations from their parents. They're, especially where I'm at. I kind of teach a little bit, in the air in some areas here in Tampa where, you know, the the economics, aren't there. So you see the struggle that is happening, right? You have kids selling baked goods so they can make money, so they can try to make just a little bit of money. It's that's how this thing is going. Um, so as we see this going on, I'm telling them and kind of giving them, hey, listen, a lot of things are happening internationally. Even when I'm with teachers, teachers, and they're, well, my my financial planner told me not to worry because the stock market's going to bounce back. It's going to bounce back, and literally over these last 2 weeks, the stock market hasn't actually bounced back. You want to know why? Because companies aren't being paid by the U.S. government through BlackRock, through congressional funding from BlackRock to do what? To uphold the Ponzi scheme. The rug got pulled out on the Ponzi scheme, and it's just going to be, it's an implosion. This is what you see when you see an economic implosion.
Brother Karras, before I was just gonna say, you know what that headline reminds me of? It reminds me of in Jeremiah when they were seeking help from Egypt, and the Most High said, "Egypt can't help you." It's kind of funny how now, because obviously there's many facets in Babylon. Now, Babylon is scared of this. All the other countries are afraid of Putin and his army, and China and all these other armies that are now coming to face them. And, they're saying, oh, Egypt can't help you. And also this dual prophecy that I remember last Saturday you came on where you and Sister Chantel were talking about Isaiah 19 and Egypt, and how America is Egypt as well, and how the new Egypt was going to be judged and the old Egypt would get recompense. And I also saw that Egypt was having, because I'm pretty sure it was Paul that said something about Egypt is now having troops to face that other nation over there as well. So there's a lot of prophecy
A lot
coming.
of stuff going on. Exactly. Look, they're getting it handed to them, in their satellite state, right? The east side, and they're getting it on the west side.
And then also that in the private chat, I just saw a few articles saying now that Zelensky wants to go meet with Prince Charles.
Yeah, I want to
Charles,
get to that because I wanted to build into that. So thank you, but I want to build into that. Here's this one. On this paragraph, I want, let me go back to this Financial Post. In interviews with Bloomberg, more than half a dozen officials who've maintained their composure through wars and financial crises reacted with visceral anger. For them, the scene showed the trust and values that have bond Europe and the U.S. together since the end of World War II are no longer shared. Wow.
About to get the harlot.
Yep.
The 10-toed kingdom is coming.
let me jump over into here. Because I'll put this in the chat. This is what Brother Garth has shared with me. So let me get this over here. Let me share this screen. Look at this. Ukraine, Zelensky meets with UK Starmer after Trump's clash. Now he's shaking. See, Trump didn't even shake his hand. I wanted to. Let me bring some context into this. Let me bring some context into this. Give me just a second. I want to share this. Here we go.
This is really pretty incredible. We see the
Jackie,
SUV,
hang on with us one
Zelensky's
moment. If you
SUV.
look to your left, you're going to see him. Let's watch.
Yeah, Zelensky just leaves. Zelensky leaves. The president isn't there. He got kicked out. He got kicked out out the house for running his mouth. Here we go.
We see the
Yeah, the
Jackie, hang
journalist.
on with us one
Zelensky's
moment. If you look
SUV.
to your left, you're going to see him.
Trump did not even want to take a photo up of the man leaving.
Yo,
That's sad. He didn't even want to take a photo op of him. Man.
They're
So,
puppets.
Yep. So let me go back to here. Now the UK is trying to get in good graces because the UK got rejected. Trump gave him the Dikembe Mutombo. No. We're not going to be going to war. He's like, the U.S. isn't going to be going to war for you all. You're going to have to die on that hill. And they're looking at him. Europe is looking at the United States like, I thought we were all in this. So this is as of today.
And I'm sorry, another thing, Karis, is Putin is a lot more likely to show a lot more grace than Trump, and he may, see, even though he may find Zelensky despicable, he still knows that his people are in Ukraine, and he will, he will be more willing to negotiate with Ukraine for real than the U.S. After all this.
I don't think so. See, they're Nazis there. He was doing genocide on the Russian people. No, he absolutely. In fact, he said Putin's the one that called him a dictator first. He said, I'll negotiate, but not with him. He's not a legitimate president because he hasn't had an election. No, he's not. No, wait. He's a persona non grata. No way. There's no way that he's going to. That's why he's going with Trump. Zelensky, I've been following the people who know that all the people that are going with that. This man literally they were committing genocide against the Russian people in their territory. Yeah. So he's this guy is the Banderas. They're like they fought with Hitler, So it's see what happened is the one thing we learned from history that nobody is that people do never. I think that I'm killing the quote. To learn nothing from history. You don't go against Russia. Russia beat Napoleon. Then they beat Hitler. And these fools in Europe are trying to go against Russia. That's not you don't do that. And you got to understand what happened after what we did after war. See, in the 20th century, the US was China. That's where we were. We were minding our business, building our domestic industries, building up factories, all the Rust Belt. I'm in Chicago, all these factories and stuff. When I was a young person, you didn't have to go outside. You could find anything in Chicago. I found a laboratory to sell me hydrochloric acid. It was all, I found a shop to do welding for me, a machine shop, all this stuff. We were the arsenal of democracy. Mm-hmm. So in World War II, we bombed all their factories. We had all the only factories in the world. So we were supposed to beat our swords into plowshares and go back, and we did. That built the consumer economy, the Marshall Plan. So we were the only power that we had bombed everybody else. So what happened was, prior to that, China for 5,000 years, Europe had nothing for China. The only reason, they said the 100 years of shame, the only reason they got ascendancy over China is the British forced dope in there. The British and the U.S. forced dope, tore their country down, whatever, and they have not forgotten that. So when you talk about the Chinese sending fentanyl over here, that's a turnaround play. But I'm saying they were always technologically ahead of Europe. Mm-hmm. Europe had nothing for them but dope. So now it's just coming back to what it was. See, and we cannot let these Gentiles tell us that Putin is not aggressive. They're primarily, there might have been some slaves. No, they didn't go out after slaves. The Chinese, they could have taken over the world when they had the technology. They built a wall to keep the rest of the world out.
That's true.
So it's these people here. Now, so we're thinking we're Putin bad, Putin good. They're told, no, he's not. He's defending our country. I was here during the Cuban Missile Crisis. We were doing the same stuff Putin was getting ready to do. They were telling the kids, get ready for war. You know, take your nuclear drills, because we getting ready to go to war over this thing. But we had a president that had sanity, President Kennedy. President Eisenhower saw it coming. He warned against the military-industrial complex, but he had the good sense to do it going out of office. So Kennedy said, I'm going to break the CIA into 1,000 pieces. He knew it then. And they took him out. So guess what? The military, that was a coup, the Kennedy coup. The military-industrial complex has been in power. And the oligarchs, what they did was this. The communists always said, they'll sell us the rope to hang us with. So you got to understand, America loves slavery. So they want the closest thing to slavery that we can get. The only reason that we have the society we have is this. One man, Henry Ford, said, and you can look it up. He had people making all those cars. It don't make sense. The people that make the cars can't buy the cars. That don't make sense. So he like doubled his employee salary there, and they excoriated him. How are you going to do this? You know, if you let these people up, we won't be in control. They beat him down. So when they started to pay, you develop a middle class. Then the middle class makes demands, and that moves up. Now that they were still keeping us down. So you got to understand, this is what it was. Now they're swinging back to, this is not capitalism. This is feudalism. Trump, he's a feudal lord. These are feudal lords. They don't want to let a middle class go out. So what do? They make us the scapegoat. Well, the reason you don't have anything is because those black people got all that, which is absurd. But they believe that. They've been divide and conquer, divide and rule. That's what it's been. But the Most High is not having it now. See, we're in a different phase. The phase that they always put on black people was in the Bible. Our people was the Balaam plan. You can't beat these people, but all you can do, you got to make them so wretched that their God ain't gonna help them. You got to drive a wedge between, and that's how you get them. But the Most High said, I don't care. I'm not coming back for your sake. See, God, we're not angels. God just said, okay, time's up. I'm coming back for my baby kids. They messed up and things like it don't matter. No, you didn't mess with my name. Of people to call by. No, it ain't about that. It ain't about us. See, we get to thinking it's about, no, it ain't about you. It's about his name. So he's not going to have the Gentiles say, yeah, well, I beat those people down. No, you ain't. He tired of getting people whipping on my kids. So he said, no, it ain't your job. I whip my kids. You don't whip my kids. And he's going to take us in the wilderness and purge out the rebels. But he's going to deal with them people. So that's what we got to understand. I was talking about, look what they doing. Look what the Most High is doing. He going to take these people. He about to open up a can of whoop ass on these people. And the Gentiles that know it and can see it are clinging to us.
Yeah, they are.
Yes, they are. The arrogance, this is Nebuchadnezzar. You talking about Nebuchadnezzar. He has the arrogance of Nebuchadnezzar. Now, Nebuchadnezzar humbled himself. So that hubris of saying that they can do all this stuff, like the Most High going, yeah, right. So that's what I'm saying. We have to take heed of what they're doing, but what they're doing is pissing off the Most High. He said, I am angry at the wicked every day. He said, Jacob have I loved and Esau I have hated. He hate them. So I'm saying what we have to do is love us, because this culture has taught us to hate each other. My mother will be 105 years old this year. She said when she grew up, Chicago in the 20s, he said, we heard somebody getting killed in the newspaper and saw it happen, we knew it wasn't black, because black people didn't kill each other. We didn't do that. You see, that wasn't us. See, but we've taken on the ways of the oppressor. Envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways. We got to detox our children. They broke out our families. They broke up our families. I'm trying to do a film or cartoon about something about the African elephants. You all know about the African elephants, don't you? In Africa, I'll be very brief. In Africa, it was nature sanctuary in Africa. South Africa, right? Them same people, the Elon Musk and them folks. We got too many elephants here. We got to cull the herd. We can't. This is not sustainable. So what did they do? They killed all the bull elephants. Bull elephants died. You can go look it up. National Geographic killed all the bull. Okay, the baby elephants are left to go in the care of the female pachyderms, right? So you have a generation of elephants not raised without their fathers.
Oh my goodness.
So what did the juvenile elephants do? First of all, they don't have no males around. They go into musk early, so they get involved sexually earlier, which our children do. And guess what? They started gang banging. They started attacking the other elements. They couldn't know who was killing all the rhinoceroses. They was taking out tourist cars and stuff like that. What we gonna do? The elephants was gang banging. And so these people know. So what was you wondering what the solution was? What did they do? They went and got them some more male bull elephants from another cert and bring them in and let them check the kids, and that's how they brought it down. So know what they do this. So what have they done to us? They up the women. This is cattle slavery. This is cattle. We've been managed like cattle. What you do, you marginalize the males. The bulls never submit to captivity. You have a bull on the farm now. If he get a chance, he's still going to take that rancher out. And if he knocks down that fence, the cows are going with him. So what have they done in chattel slavery? The only way you can keep a bull is you castrate him. And then he's oxen. So who are they promoting in the West? Who do we see? Oxen and cows. And the bulls. And the Bible says our children will be on the corner as a young bull in a sling. That energy. So we are still managed like cattle. And the Most High says he would turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, lest I bring a curse. So that's what I try to commend you. You are a father figure in that classroom. They don't have that. They looking for the father figures. They with their mothers. These children are being weaponized by this feminine energy, which is not set up. That's a weaker.
Tell me about it in those classrooms. Oh my goodness. I just had one yesterday. And I'm like, look, I said, I'm not yelling at you. I just wanted to talk to you. But Mr. Copeland, you get mad. I said, no, I wasn't getting mad at you. But what I was doing was I was correcting you for your behavior because you all were swinging. They're swinging jackets at each other.
Why are you coming at me? Why are you coming at me?
You know, and they had, and you know, I had them at the very last period of the day, 8th period. And I'm trying to get the class set up for them to do their assignments. And then I see one of the kids, you know, rubbing his eye because he got hit in the eye. And then another kid, you know, kind of in a sulking mood, you know, because he had hit his friend because they had taken things too far as
baby elephants
13, 14 years old would. And I said, okay, I separated the kids. I said, you come on over here and you over there. And the kid, you know, he had gotten emotional because I said, listen, I said, I got to get to the bottom of this. I said, because here's the thing. When you all put your hands on each other, I get in trouble if I'm not doing what I need to do to, number one, figure this thing on out. And number two, develop a plan to have you all come through and work together. Now, I can see that this was an accident because nobody went to blows, but you all need to stop touching one another because I was getting ready to give my dog anecdote, and I didn't even get a chance to get it on out there because, you know,
we have to teach these young men to handle aggression. That's the thing. I tried to tell these mothers, I said, listen, you know what PMS is? You know what PMS is? Your son has got all kind of hormones shooting through his body at this particular time. He may have been, you were doing a pretty good job till he got to a certain age, but that puberty came on and now if you haven't had a man in his life and things like that, he's going totally off. So that was my ministry. Aid the baby mama with dependent children. I had to do daddy stuff. I had to buy stuff. I buy school clothes. Look, it was like this. I'm a youth pastor, right? The child mother says, so and so don't have money for school supplies or whatever. He does. I don't have nothing to give it to him. Okay, they're telling me this. I'm the pastor from the church. I don't give her the money. I never give her the money. I go up to the school and say, well, I'm so and so's godfather. I'm the pastor of the church, and he don't have so and so and so and so. So I'm here. Who do I pay for his school fees? Who do I pay? Who is you? I'm representing for the Most High. So I do that. So we build a statue. See, we need some hood fathers so we can do this. I don't think we got much time in Babylon, but in the short term, I'd like to have a young men's Hebrew association. See, we have to build these structures, and the soul in our people, and it don't take long. I saw this young man in the store. He hugged me. You remember me? I was done. That was Wentworth Gardens, one of the projects I worked in. He said, so but how old are you now? 40. I got my wife and children and so and so. You doing good? What are you doing now? I got a trucking company. I'm doing it. I'm saying our children don't need much, a little direction. He says that blessed are the children of a man's youth. There are like many arrows, and he have many arrows in his quiver, and they should contend for him at the gate, right? We got arrows laying all on the ground in our community. You just pick them up and give them some direction. But we don't want to do. That's why I did not waste time arguing with these apologists, whatever y'all do. Y'all get your ass in the street. That's what I'm saying. You getting an education. That's all you have to do. Find yourself a legitimate position.
The thing is, they don't want to, number one, part of educating our children, we have to educate them. We have to talk to them. They see what's happening in these current affairs. And this is why I'm here to try to help. Okay, understand where I'm coming from, so then you have a different perspective than what they're getting taught, because they get taught the wrong things. Even our people get taught the wrong things, right?
Yes.
That you never seen. Look, the urban apologists, to me right now, they've gone silent because why? Because everything that the scriptures have shown is coming to pass.
Yep.
So if that's now the case, now we need to know what it is that we need to do, because here's the thing. Yeah, Minister Rick is definitely on track with that. However, look, we're not going to be able to heal in the lands of our captivity. That's just not going to happen.
We just got to get them ready to go.
Yeah, we're
going
to exactly.
We just got to get prep them. I tell you what, these children are not passing basic. You were in the military. They can't pass basic. They've been drugged out.
Here's the reality, and here's a very staggering reality. In the school that I'm in, it's a 23% literacy rate. 23%. So they're there to basically get them ready for
prison pipeline.
Bingo. We did a tornado drill. And the tornado drill was you line up next to the locker, you have you're bending down with your body oriented towards the locker. All I could say was, no, this is a drill. In my mind, this was a drill for a lockdown, to where you have a compliance drill that everybody is now lining up, to then be counted. This is a head count drill for me. So what are they doing? It's an institutionalization that they're getting from this age. Because why? Because half of them don't even know how to do the work. I talk to them. Hey, well, Mr. Copeland, it wasn't like this, Mr. Copeland. So I'm like, not like what? They can't even go and discuss anything without them getting mad or irritated.
I tell you, there was, my brother tells an anecdote about a notorious woman when he was in the military, a judge in custody court for children, and they would go up there and paternity court, and she talked about the men would come into court and the woman would come to the court, and she said, Your Honor, that child don't even look like me. And the judge famously said, well, feed him until he does. We got to do that. My father said it's easier to pull a string than it is to push it. Those children are going to take on your character. That's all we have to say. And God, see, because this is what happened when the Exodus before. We said, we can't go into the land. Our children will be a prey. They ain't going to make it. And God told them, hey, these children who you thought will be a prey are going to enter the land. And
They're going to enter the land.
ass is going to die in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
So in my extended age, I'm 68 years old. I've made it my point. I'm going to be Joshua and Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going because I believed in these children. I spent my life serving them and the fruit. It don't take much. Our children are smart. They get on the track. Just give them a path.
Well, yeah, and we're all gonna get there. And I do encourage the discussion, but I want to bring this really back into focus.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right. I like to bring this back into scope. And yes, that is a conversation. But I want to bring this back into the scope of what we're talking about because, yeah, are we going to get there? Yes, we absolutely are. However, this is where we need to get to with our families because why? And our families that we do have our aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces and nephews. Guess what? They're going to have children and they have kids because why? Because we have kids. Yep. So, so the reality of this is the kids are now asking their parents what's happening. The parents are now seeing what's going on with Trump, and now they're seeing what's happening in other parts of the world. And I wanted to get back to this. This was something I put in a couple of minutes ago, but it says here UK's Prime Minister Keir Starmer and Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky met at Downing Street. The Ukrainian president is set to meet with King Charles on Sunday before meeting European leaders. Says it's very important for Ukraine to be heard after a tense meeting with a U.S. President Trump on Friday. European leaders have reiterated their support for Zelensky. So we're showing how, and I just want to lay that groundwork showing that all of these nations are now, they're beginning to flip.
Yep.
And as they're beginning to flip, guess what? Now, understand when you have a ruckus like that, the people know because why? Well, are these nations going to stop buying things? Are we the next ones being boycotted? Are we going to get boycotted from Europe with our products? And now these are the questions because why? Because when we're doing business and commerce, right? People are already getting fired. So do you not think that this is going to continue to exasperate it? In my opinion, yes. Is this, something that's planned and staged? In my opinion, yes.
Karis, this is so God. You just said something. I thought about these these are the tribes of Europe.
Yes.
They always fought.
Yes.
They always fought. They had and the Russians were involved then. They were trying to start the New World Order around 1815, and the Tsar pulled out, said, no, they're not having it. But the peace that they had a peace from like 1815 to 1915. Then they went at it again. Then he tried to get the peace with the League of Nations. Then he tried to get the peace with the United Nations. Meantime, so what did they do to us? They took Africa at the Berlin Conference, cut it up across all tribal lands and stuff like that. People set it up for war, set the tribes against together. Okay, what's happening? The tribes of Africa are coming together, and their tribes are going apart. That's the reverse curse. That's the reverse curse. So
yeah, the people that's not a people, right? It's a people that's not a people. They're really just kind of thrown in together, right? Kind of wear and tear. It's a potpourri.
The only thing they could agree on was Psalm 83.
Yeah, that's it. There are people that's really not a people. So as they're not a people, they're beginning. You're beginning to see what is it? The fabric
coming
The
apart.
tie
Like a
that
cheap suit.
binds, right?
Yep.
They're ties that bind.
And
that-
also, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Also, it was Esau that was really the person who brought all those tribes together just
He
to
sure
you
did.
Yep.
know oppress us. Now,
Yep.
as they're falling apart, this is the start of the Most High judging Esau, because now Esau doesn't have the nations all together trying to oppress us as well. That's how I see as well.
You know,
Mhm.
I got a picture. Think of a Western movie, right? Right? And it's a bar fight all happening all around you. And chairs are flying and things like
Yep.
that. And you're not in it. And you just start tiptoeing out. This stuff is flying, but it ain't your fight, you know.
Yeah, we
out
packed
here.
it up.
And we just tiptoeing and just covering our face and taking the shield and like putting our finger up like they did in the church. Tipping out the aisle as the place goes down.
Listen. We grabbed what? We grabbed the instruments. We shut down the piano keys so don't get busted up.
Yeah.
And we're making our way up on out of the bar fight. For real,
Just
that's it.
This ain't our fight.
Yeah, and where are we going? We're not going through the front door. We're leaving out the back door.
And the unity. See, you're gonna unite people across all the groups, all these crazy groups, the camps, everybody. Think, what is the message across the world for the U.S. and the diaspora? Stand down.
Yeah,
It's not our fight.
Not our fight.
This ain't our fight. Let them folks fight. You know. So it's. I'm saying there's the Most High is putting a unity in us that we don't even see. And we just have to be, you know something, the glory of the Lord is risen upon us. The light. There's a famine for the word of God. So everybody is seeing it. So I think we put so much on us. We can do much. Hey, we're in positional. All we have to do is submit to the Most High. He's going to make us a light unto the Gentiles and a light to our people. They're looking. I find more people. See, I don't have a pessimistic. I do. I never was in the church.
Give me a second, Pastor.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Because when you say go a second, you go for a few minutes.
Oh my God!
So I'm trying to get through this.
What's that?
So
Me and Sister Sean does that. Go ahead.
So let me go ahead with this. All right. So now Ukraine Zelensky gets warm welcome in UK after Trump clash. So this is as of today, 2:11 p.m. Eastern. So all these are up. It was updated 2:11 p.m. Eastern. All these things they're happening right here. You know, they got the little photo being shown of them. You know, and look, they have the solidarity. So Europe is going to Europe, and the European nations, the beast nations, are all kind of coalescing together. And now the U.S. is being kicked out. And so here we go. Again, another this person's reporting from Reuters. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer greeted President Volodymyr Zelensky with a warm embrace on Saturday after the Ukrainian leader flew to London for talks following his clash at the White House with U.S. President Donald Trump. In an extraordinary Oval Office meeting on Friday, Trump threatened to withdraw support from Ukraine 3 years after Russia invaded its smaller neighbors. So now we can see
Dr. Shows 10 toes. Dr. Shows 10 toes.
Yeah. Now everybody is seeing how this thing goes. Now, is Trump bluffing with the whole thing? Honestly, he may be. He may be trying to bluff to do what? To get more money. But to be honest, he's trying to kick Europe out of being able to profit from this war. And again, everybody loves their money. They love their God. They love mammon. So to me I'm about, I don't like to say everything's certain. I'm not going to say that, not in this time. But I would say that I have a confidence of about 95% that this is definitely over money. And when you have something over money, especially when they were trying to close the deal on minerals. Because why? Because the U.S. is getting shut out of Africa.
Yep.
That's all that goes. This is all it is. That's the
Step,
bigger picture.
step
The
right
U.S.
up to
is
the
getting
whole
shut out.
radio, the whole rodeo.
Yeah, they
Is
get
bucking the beast riding contest of the whole radio, the Ireland radio rodeo.
Yep. And guess what the U.S. was trying to do? The U.S. not only was it getting kicked out, the U.S. was trying to also hoard over the spoils of Ukraine from the Europeans.
Yep.
That doesn't bode well. That does not fly with the Europeans.
It's
see-
funny. It's funny, brother Karis, because the statue, literally Rome is on its last legs, and
Mhm.
we're about to go to the 10-toed kingdom. And like I said, again, you shout out to Gates of Holder, her channel, and basically showed us all that Kiddum is basically all of those islands in Europe, and a lot of Europe in and of itself. And it's now funny that it's all being fractured
In front of our faces.
in front of our faces.
The feet of clay, and a stone gonna hit them feet of clay with all them toes, partly strong and partly weak and stuff, and bust them out. Hey, that's the kingdom coming in.
It's amazing, and I pray that folks got a little bit more clarity and understanding, at least on what Garth and I had presented, because I didn't know that Garth was going to show on up. Thank you, brother Garth, for showing up.
No
Coming on in.
problem. I mean, we haven't been able to discuss stuff like this in a while, so I was like, yeah, let's do it. Because I mean, what else am I? Well, I mean, I usually have my Sabbath routine, but this is a great time to catch up on events and see prophecy, really happening in real time. And I mean, this is crazy. I mean, also, as we talk about minerals, and literally as in Burkina Faso and in other nations in Africa, they are, they're strategizing how they're going to give minerals to different countries. And we see, gold fluctuating like crazy. It's all making sense.
It is, isn't it? You're now starting to see all the pieces coming together. They're fighting each other over us, over Africa.
Temple's discussions.
If
Like
y'all
the
haven't
Messiah
gotten the
discussion
book,
of Temple.
if
Yep.
y'all haven't gotten the book, The Rise of Africa, the Continent, the Diaspora, and BRICS, understand, family.
I'm
this
buying it
is-
today.
This
I
is
hadn't got
look. It rings truer and truer every single day, every single moment. It rings truer and truer. Because why? Because as Jacob would say, because that's true Jerusalem. That's his book. And understanding who you are as an Israelite, that's Sister Shonda's book, Shonda McCants. If somebody can throw that link in there for her book, please. And Jacobus, I definitely would appreciate that. I'd like to get that highlighted, because I'm telling you, those books right there, that is the start of the Hebrew library right there.
Yep.
Of current events, current trends. What does that mean? How does that mean it? Right? How to walk, where to walk, and then understanding where you're walking from and where you're walking to.
His truth is marching on. I got Jacobus' book. I got Dante's book. I'm gonna order your book today. And you say you'll put the other link in the chat.
Yeah, for Sister Shonda's book.
Okay, I'm gonna get that today. It's funny. It's like you have your ambivalent feeling. I mean, and on some level, you're looking at. So Bible talked about it, and he looked at that, and I looked at it with astonishment. I looked at it with wonder. we're seeing this stuff happening. There's some dangerous things, and it's I think about it was a Chaucer. No, the best of times, the worst of times. We're good. I feel it's a good thing that these people are doing all this stuff. They haven't got to pay attention. We just have to redeem the time because the days are evil. But our people are coming to the light. We just got to shine the light. We have to get the wretchedness out of Israel. We have to. The one thing, the people at TOU and things like that, you're above. I mean, we have changes in the organization, but y'all above reproach at the top of the thing. And ultimately, that's going to be the thing, because there's a famine for the word and a famine for truth, and that's going to happen. So I talked to Jacobo on this site. I said, what's going on now? There are people, I really believe that you got two paths the way. It's not about you individually escaping or whatever. It's about you're going to prepare. You're either preparing the land for the people or preparing the people for the land. But we are getting out of here shortly.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So Garth gave you the long version.
Mhm.
I'm giving you kind of the shorter version right here, the shareable. So if you all want to go ahead and click on that and order your copy today, because honestly, family, the word is good. That is our solid foundation. Everything that we do and we say is in accordance with the word. I would honestly argue that for our people, we need to be able to have these supplemental pieces together. I mean, you see that with those Eurocentric churches all the time. How many books does Pastor have? How many relationship books does Pastor have? You know what I'm saying? And now it's like, hey, listen, this is now, we're coming out of this captivity, coming out of the captivity struggle. Because honestly, the struggle is real. We don't have much time left, family. So please support these channels. Please support the efforts that we are able to do. And I can tell you this right now, I can't do anything without your help. I think that's the way the Most High did that. I think that's the way the Most High did it. I was like, oh, I don't need to ask for any help. I could do it all on my own. And you know what? The Most High will humble you.
Yep.
He will humble
He
you.
definitely
And now
will.
so now I have to laugh because I'm in that season. I said, thank you, Father, that you humbled me. And honestly, I said I had to just say thank you, Father. Hallelujah. And so before I go, I already told Sister Shonda, I said I'm gonna share your book. I just hadn't been able to with me working. But here is the link. Here's what that link looks like when you're on Amazon. Okay. That's it right there. There it is. So this is Sister Ashanda's book by Sister Ashanda Naya McCants. Please go ahead and get your copy today. You can find all of these nice books, these resources for your family, for your children, for your neighbors, for your loved ones. Shoot, for anybody that you care about.
I'm having a senior moment on the phone. I'm trying to get it up on the other on my phone so I can order online. What is the name? I put Q2A and it's not coming up on the phone. This
for
is
what?
What site are you broadcasting for now? You're from Covenant Awakenings now, right? You're on Covenant Awakenings?
Yeah, this is Covenant Awakenings. Yes.
Okay. I'm bringing it up on the phone so I can order this thing online. Okay, I'm good now.
All right. Yep. Make sure to get those in your libraries today. That should be your pre-exilic book list. The pre-exilic book list. pre-second or greater exilic book list.
Okay. go there. Here we go.
So with that, let me go ahead and let's get some final comments so I can enjoy the rest of my Shabbat because them kids be having me hurt. But I said, no, Father, I need to let our people know. Oh man, hallelujah, brother.
I'll go real quick, brother Karis.
Yeah.
I'll just say everyone enjoy their Shabbat, and everyone who has contributed to Cash App or Zelle, I appreciate it. Check out Faith and Fitness by Garth. I'll put the channel in the chat, and then also check out Exploring the Motherland on Q2A. And with that, I say Shabbat Shalom.
All right, thank you, brother Garth. Minister Rick, final comments.
Well, let's support the ministry. I'll get this other phone up. I'm gonna put that thing on today. I got some blackout money in my pocket that I didn't give to the white folks. I didn't give to these things, so I can give to you. And I was very much encouraged. Israel, whether we know it or not, we're starting to operate like a people. Everybody who withheld their money would not be of the same doctrine that you would say if they were taught together. Mm-hmm. But it was the same spirit moving it. And we're going to things are going to happen on the spiritual level that's above the intellectual. And the Most High is doing this. So a lot of it, don't stress yourself. This is the Most High is doing.
Absolutely.
He's humble himself. We let us know, you're a type A person. I'm the type of person. I'm trying to buy this stuff. Let's do that. You can't do it. You can't do it. And we have to it puts us on our knees and humbles us. And his strength is made perfect in our weakness. But we got to recognize our weakness. That arrogance, that's Esau's thing. That's why he thinks he is God. We communicate with the God at the beginning of it's not religion, it's relationship. So he's forcing us to do that. And the light is shining on us. The only thing is, okay, this is my final, very short. Yeshua said, you don't put your light under a bushel on the ground. You take it up and lift it in the room so everybody can see. We just got to lift our light out in the community. The Bible says, those who are rich in these worlds, be rich in good works. We show the love of God, the grace of God before our people. They're going to gravitate to us. They're going to lead that. He said in the final days, he would lift up some good pastors that would lead the flock. So we're in good stead. Be encouraged by the things that are happening. Let's get out there and do your job. I'll land my plane there.
All right. Thank you, Minister Rick. All right. Well, family, thank you for joining me on this Shabbat. I pray that you got something out of it. Thank you all for your gifts. It is truly a blessing. And family, again, just stay encouraged. Stay encouraged. It's not us that's in the throes, it's them. And honestly, as I see them in the throes, all I can say is hallelujah, because it's the Most High's word coming to pass. They may not like what's happening to them. They may not enjoy what's happening to them. But guess what? The Most High's word never returns back void. So everything is coming to pass. As it's coming to pass, let's continue to remain humble and walk and talk and move in a spirit of humility. We are already blessed in this. We are already victorious in this. And that's where our light is going to shine to these nations so they know what it is that's happening. Hallelujah. So with that said, family, Most High willing, I will be on Q2A Monday, and then I will be on Covenant Awakenings on Tuesday. 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 6:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So with that said, family, Shabbat Shalom, and have a blessed one, Israel. Yasharal. Take care.